Hi, I'm Marie. I'm going to take you through a slow burn vinyasa today. So we're going to start at the top of our mat, comfortable seated position. And then once you get there, right away, soften your eyes, close your eyes, start to settle in. Maybe you place the backs of your hands on your knees, or you can always just rest them comfortably in your lap. But as soon as you find that comfortable seat, with your eyes closed, find some stillness. Try not to fidget. And just start to observe. And notice what you're feeling. Maybe some sort of tension in your body, your thoughts. And start to notice your breath. Start to make that breath a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more conscious. So paying attention to it. And let's start to purposefully inhale a little bit deeper through your nose. How about this time, open your mouth and just press it all out. And now with your lips sealed, inhale. And this time exhale out your nose. Just working on lengthening your breath, starting to make it more deliberate and strong, lengthening the inhales, the exhales. Maybe adding that slight constriction to the back of your throat so your breath becomes a little bit more audible. And sometimes it helps to add some movement. So still staying in that seated position, just take your next inhale and raise your arms up overhead. Reach up through your fingertips, sit tall. And on your exhale, take a twist to the right. Left hand to the outside of your right knee, right hand behind, and turn your chin over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back through to center, reach your arms up. Exhale, take a twist to the left. This time, come back through to center, reach, and on your exhale, as you breathe out, walk your hands forward. Just find this simple forward fold right down the middle. And then walk your hands back as you inhale. Let's just roll over our shins, planting your hands at the top of the mat. And then find a tabletop pose. Shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees, long neutral spine, keeping your gaze just a few inches out in front of you to keep your neck long. And we'll take ourselves through a few cat and cow poses. So inhales as you drop your belly, your tailbone lifts, your chin lifts. And exhale, push away from the floor as you round your spine, tucking your tailbone, tucking your chin. Go ahead and take yourself through a few more rounds of that. Just working on following your breath. Inhales always to lift, open your chest. Exhales to tuck, lowering down. Maybe swaying your hips from side to side. Maybe making some figure eights. Just working on warming up our spine, working on connecting breath with movement. Always letting your breath lead the way. And then coming back to a neutral spine. Just before we come up into our first downward facing dog, I want to make sure that your wrists are warmed up. So go ahead and inhale as you lean forward, just putting a little bit of pressure into the palms of your hand. Fingertips are spread wide and maybe your shoulders come past your wrists slightly. And then exhale as you bring your hips back towards your heels. 2 more times. Inhale, lean forward, maybe a little bit further each time. Exhale, bring it back. And round number 3, put that pressure on your wrists, just starting to gently warm them up. Exhale as you come back and flip your hands around so that your fingertips are facing your knees now. And this time just taking it in the opposite direction. So leaning back, really just gently getting our wrists ready for what's to come. And then coming back into your neutral tabletop pose, fingertips facing forward, tuck your toes under, and just lift your knees 1 inch off the ground. So keep pushing through the palms of your hands. Press your chest away from the floor. Knees are just hovering. Back toes are tucked. Belly button is drawing in towards your spine. Keep your core engaged. Keep your spine long. Don't allow your neck or your head to fall between your hands. Keep it lifted, but not so much that you're looking way out in front of you. Just nice and neutral. Protect your spine, protect your neck. How's your breath? Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, press your hips back, downward facing dog. So fingertips are still spread wide. You're pressing through your shoulders, through your chest, pressing back towards your thighs. And maybe bending one knee and then the other, walking out your dog. How about swaying your hips from side to side? No need to be stagnant in this pose. You can always just move around and play and sway. Breathe. Maybe coming to your tiptoes, and then as you exhale, pressing your heels down towards the mat. Strong breath here. And then let's start our first warm-up flow. So use your inhale to look forward, coming to your tiptoes. Exhale, bending your knees. Step, hop, or float to the top of the mat. Once you get there, right away, halfway lift as you breathe in. Hands can come to your shins, your thighs, or you can keep them on the floor. Just long, straight spine as you draw your shoulder blades down your back. And then exhale, fold it back in. How about let's spend a few extra breaths here, maybe grabbing opposite elbows, allowing your head to hang heavy, maybe turning your head from side to side. And then release your hands to the mat. Slight bend in your knees so that you can inhale, stand all the way tall, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Press your palms into one another. Stand tall, tailbone tucking under, lower belly drawing in. Kind of pressing and grounding down through the four corners of both feet. And as we begin, we inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale as you fold, chest to thighs. Lift up halfway, gaze is out. Plant your hands, step back to the top of a push-up. So we're in a high plank pose. We're gonna take ourselves through a vinyasa, but first I wanna make sure that you have chaturanga, the low push-up. The first round is kind of tricky, so let's make sure that we get the posture correct so nobody injures themselves. I want you to take an inhale as you lean your weight forward, coming to your toes, pressing your chest forward. Still neutral neck, neutral spine. So we warmed our wrists up for this. Shoulders kind of come past your wrist. And as you lower down, you want your elbows to point back, so squeeze them into your rib cage. As you lower down, keep your gaze ahead of you. Don't let your shoulders come down past your elbows. It's okay if they stay higher, just not down below. So once you get to that point, then come to the tops of your feet as you inhale. Lift your chest, lift your gaze. You can keep your knees off the mat, or you can drop them down for cobra pose. That's your inhale. For your exhale, tuck your toes under, lift your hips back. Use your core muscles as you lift them slowly, strongly back to the mat, to the back of the room. Tailbone lifting up towards the sky. And again, we'll spend a few breaths here. How about 2 more breaths? And then we'll get ready to begin again at the top of our mat. Inhale, gaze forward, come to your toes. Exhale as you hop, step, or float to the top. Once you get there, lift up halfway. Exhale as you fold. This time we're gonna take a twist. So walk your left hand over to the outside of your right foot. Maybe a slight bend in your left knee as you inhale, sweep your right arm up towards the sky. Maybe turn your gaze up towards the ceiling also. Exhale as you come back down into your forward fold. Right hand walks over to the left side of the mat. Slight bend in your right knee as you inhale, left arm up. Exhale, come back to your forward fold. Inhale as you stand tall, reach up. This time we'll add some side bends in. Grab your left wrist with your right hand as you lean over to the right, opening all the way down the right side of your body. Inhale comes back through to center and change sides. Sway to the left. Inhale, come back through to center. Maybe open your arms out wide as you take a little tiny back bend, opening up your chest, your heart. And exhale as you hinge from the hips, flat back, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, maybe right into chaturanga this time. Lower down, only halfway, not any further. Inhale, tops of your feet, lift your chest. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths. And when you're ready, find a way to place your feet in between your hands, top of the mat. Lift up halfway as you breathe in. Exhale as you fold, add those twists. Open your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale to fold. Inhale, twist open. Exhale back through the middle. Inhale as you stand tall, reach your arms. Take those side bends. Inhale back through to center. Exhale, changing sides, bending to the left. Inhale through to center, open up your chest. Exhale, fold. Lift up halfway. And exhale, take your vinyasa. One long exhale, all the way to the bottom of your push up. Inhale, lift up. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So hopefully your breath is still strong. Hopefully you're starting to warm up a little bit so that we can move into our second flow. And after about one more breath in downward facing dog, let's meet at the top of our mat. Feet step forward, lift up halfway. Exhale as you fold. This time, bend your knees, drop your hips, and circle your arms up as you breathe in. Find Utkatasana, chair pose. So from here, you want your big toes kind of touching, your heels can splay out just a little bit. Thighs are kind of really engaged and squeezing. Tailbone slightly tucked under, belly button drawing back towards your spine. Make sure that your shoulders come down away from your ears. Reach up through your fingertips. Soften your facial features, unclench your jaw. And let's breathe here. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, let's take an open arm twist to the right. So your right hand is gonna sweep back behind you as your left fingertips reach forward. Your gaze turns to the back of the room. Try to keep your knees in line with one another. Don't let the left knee sneak forward. Keep it nice and aligned with your right knee. Inhale, come back through to chair. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale as you come forward, find chair pose again. How about half chair? Sweep your arms back behind you, palms facing up. Maybe your hands are even higher than your shoulders. Engage your triceps. And probably get a little bit lower in the hips. And how about this? Come off your heels. Come up onto your toes. Feel your quadriceps. Fire up. And as you inhale, stand tall. Open up your chest. Exhale, fold forward. Lift up halfway. And then take your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. All right, so second warm-up flow. Let's lift our right leg up to the sky. Find three-legged dog. Maybe bending at your knee, circling your ankle, stacking your right hip over your left. Turn your gaze under your right shoulder. And then come back to a neutral three-legged dog. So right hip lowers down to level out with the left. We're gonna lean our way forward and bring our right knee to the right tricep. So pushing away from the mat, stay strong through the core. Knee comes to your elbow, maybe a little bit higher. Inhale as you lift back up to three-legged dog. As you exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. We're gonna find crescent warrior, but on our knee. So drop your back knee down with your right knee over top of your right heel. You're just gonna find a crescent warrior. So use your inhale to lift up your chest, maybe a slight back bend. Maybe you're pressing your hips forward. Your gaze is up. And from here, we're gonna find seated half splits. So you can drop your hands to the mat and start to straighten out your front leg as you sink your hips back towards your left heel. You can keep them lifted, or if you've got room, you can come all the way down onto your heel. But it's a fold over the straight right leg. And then we're gonna come into reverse warrior on the knee. So left hand comes back to the left heel first. Now we're gonna inhale, lean forward, lunge into the right leg. Right arm reaches back behind you. Side body opening here. Now let's take a twist. We're gonna come into a prayer twist. So palms come to heart center first. Maybe tuck your back toes under. Left toes are tucked. And then come off your knee as you lean forward, reach through the crown of your head, long spine. Now twist to the right. Left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Palms pressing into one another. Maybe turn your gaze up towards the ceiling. And finally, half moon pose. So right hand plants to the right hand corner of the mat. Lift off your back foot as your left arm reaches up too. Perhaps turn your gaze up towards the sky. Flex your back toes, keep your back leg engaged. Left hip is trying its best to stack over the right hip. Left shoulder over the right shoulder. And then turn your gaze down, plant your hands, step back. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Left hand side, so on your inhale, lift your left leg up to the sky. Go ahead and bend and twist and stack. Circling your ankle, opening your hips. And then come back to three-legged dog first. Lean your weight forward, left knee to left elbow. Really starting to engage your core. Inhale as you press back to three-legged dog. As you breathe out, step your left foot up between your hands. Drop your back knee. Inhale, lift your chest. Lift your gaze. Crescent warrior on your knee. And as you exhale, find seated half splits. Straighten out your front leg. Lean your hips back towards your right heel. And then it's just a gentle fold over the straight left leg. Right hand to the right heel. And now start to inhale, lean, lunge into the left leg. Left arm reaches back behind. Side body opener here in this reverse warrior on the knee. Prayer twist. Palms come to heart center. Lean forward. Tuck your back toes under. Lift off your back knee as you twist to the left. Maybe turn your gaze up. And finally, half moon pose. Left hand plants to the left hand corner of the mat. Lift off, right arm, right leg. And then take your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. This time we'll hold for 3 breaths. How is that breath? Still strong and smooth and rhythmic? And after that 3rd breath, we're going to meet again in chair pose. Maybe this time you just hop right up to the top of the mat, sink your hips right away, lift your arms up. And on your exhale, twist open to the right. Inhale back through to chair. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, find chair again. This time, half chair. Sweep your arms back behind you. Come onto your tiptoes, lift your heels, sink your hips lower. 1 extra breath. And as you inhale, straighten your legs, lean back, stand tall. Exhale, fold forward. Lift up halfway. Take your vinyasa. Kind of making this round a little bit swifter, more vinyasa-like. Right leg to the sky. Exhale, lean forward, knee to elbow. Inhale, lift it back up. Exhale, find crescent moon on your knee. Inhale to lift your arms, lift your chest. Exhale into seated half splits. Inhale, reverse warrior on the knee. One big movement to open up. And as you exhale, find a prayer twist. Tuck your back toes under, lift off your back knee, twist to the right. Open up into half moon pose. Step back, take your vinyasa. Let's do that on the left-hand side. From downward facing dog, left leg lifts. Knee to same elbow. Lift it back up. Step it forward. Back knee plants. Crescent warrior on the knee. Make your way into seated half splits. Open up, reverse warrior on the knee. Right hand to right heel. Left arm reaches back. And then prayer twist. Come off your back knee, tuck your back toes. Twist to the left. Finally, half moon. Left hand plants, right arm, right leg lifts. And step back, take your vinyasa. All right, let's take that one more time through. I'm just gonna call out the poses. It's up to you to follow your breath. Remember, inhales are always upward lifting movements, rising. Exhales are always twisting, lowering, folding. So that's been at least 3 breaths. Let's meet right at the top of our mat in chair pose. One more time through. Exhale, twist open to the right. Inhale, chair. Twist to the left. Find chair pose, and then find half chair. Get lower, come onto your tiptoes. And when you breathe in, that's when you stand tall. That's when you open up your chest. As you exhale, that's when you fold. Lift and lengthen. Find downward facing dog. Lift on the inhale, right leg. Knee to elbow. 3-legged dog. Crescent warrior on the back knee. Seated half splits. Reverse warrior on the knee. Right arm reaches, side body opening. Twist into your prayer twist. Back knee lifts. Half moon pose, right hand plants. And take your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog for the left hand side. Lift it up on the inhale. Exhale, knee to elbow. 3-legged dog. Step it forward, crescent warrior. Back knee down. Seated half splits. Reverse warrior, keep the back knee down. Into prayer twist. Half moon pose. And vinyasa. Breath still strong. Let's take a moment to check back in. How about dropping your knees down to the mat? Find child's pose, few breaths here. Anytime you find yourself kind of losing your breath, not breathing through your nose, breathing through your mouth, that's your sign, that's your indication that you need to find child's pose, any other restorative pose, until you come back to your breath. So let's start to build our third warm-up flow. Find downward facing dog. We're gonna work on a new arm balance. Well, new for me to teach. It's called Ekapada Vinyasa. This is number 2. It's knee to the same elbow. So we've been working on that in our second warm-up flow. This time, as you lift your right leg up to the sky, I want you to bring your knee to the same elbow, but this time, start to bend your elbows a little bit, just like chaturanga, just like that low push-up. And maybe your right arm climbs aboard that shelf that you create with your elbows. Maybe your back foot lifts. There we go. Drop your back foot back to the ground, lift back up, three-legged dog. Exhale as you step your right foot forward, pivot and plant your back heel. Warrior 1, so find a strong, stable base first between your 2 feet. And as you inhale, lift your chest, lift your arms, warrior 1. As we exhale, we're gonna find dragon pose. So both hands come down inside your right foot. You can stay right here, or take it a little bit lower by maybe spinning onto your back toes, coming down onto your forearms, opening your right hip, opening your right knee to the outside, getting deep into your hips. Now just one more way of getting into that Ekapada Vinyasa 2. You're gonna snake your right arm underneath your right leg. So it's now planted to the outside of your right foot. Your back toes are tucked, lift off your back knee, and now you wanna plant both hands firmly into the mat, bending your knees, bending your elbows, and then this right foot is gonna extend, or you can keep it bent just like before, and lift off your back toes. Maybe just lean forward. Either way, we're gonna come back to our dragon pose. Rest here, another breath or 2. And when we inhale, we're gonna open all the way up into warrior 2. So back heel plants, maybe like blossom your arms out, warrior 2. So deep lunge in the right leg. Back heel is planted, shoulders are always down away from the ears in this pose. Gaze is off your right fingertips. Try to keep your palms in line with your shoulders. And let's take a waterfall pose. Clasp your hands behind your lower back. As you inhale, open up your chest, your throat, lean back. And exhale, right shoulder comes down inside the right knee as you pull your hands away from your lower back. Crown of your head reaching towards the floor. Inhale, come back up, warrior 2. And last pose in this layer, dragonfly twist. Windmill left hand down to the left hand corner of the mat. Spin onto your back toes as you inhale, right arm up towards the sky. And exhale, plant your right hand, step your foot back, take your vinyasa. Downward facing dog, left hand side. Left leg lifts. Let's try that arm balance again. So even if you don't lift off your back foot, see if you can just put some weight into your hands, bend your elbows, create that shelf. You can use your right elbow to support your right hip. So lean into it, bend your elbows enough that this leg can balance on that shelf you create. And maybe you lean forward enough that that back foot just kind of floats off the mat. Find three-legged dog. Step your left foot forward, warrior A. So plant your back heel, lunge. Inhale, lift your arms and your chest. And as you exhale, bring both hands down inside your left foot, coming deep into the left hip for dragon. Any variation, maybe down on your forearms. Still breathing strong, especially when you're adding in all those strength and balance moves. So let's try another way of getting into that challenging arm balance. Your left arm comes underneath your left thigh. And you're gonna plant both hands into the mat. Try to lean forward like you're in chaturanga, that low push-up. So elbows are squeezing in towards your rib cage. Maybe your right hip balances on your right elbow. And then this left foot can either extend out or bend it back behind you. And lean forward, float the back toes off. There you go, come back down into your dragon pose. Find some rest for a few more breaths. Let the sweat drip. Keep the breath strong. And then find warrior two. So you're gonna plant your back heel, deep lunge in the left leg, arms open up to a T. Hips are facing the long edge of the mat. And we'll take that waterfall pose. Clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find warrior two again. And this time, dragonfly twist. So windmill, left, right hand down, deep lunge, and open your left arm up. Dragonfly twist. And that's our first layer. Let's take our vinyasa. We'll do that again on the right hand side. Add another layer. This time, if you want to, only do Ekapada Kundalini 2, either when we bring our knee to our elbow or from dragon pose. Maybe both. You guys get to decide how much you want to put into this, where you want to find rest. Let's inhale our right leg up to the sky. Exhale, lean forward, knee to elbow. Start to bend your elbows. Keep them squeezed in, pointing backwards, shoulders coming down. Maybe you balance your left hip on your left elbow, and then lift off your back knee, your back foot. Find three-legged dog, and step your right foot forward. Warrior one. Down into dragon pose, taking it a little bit swifter a second time around. You can try to find that arm balance again, or I'm gonna take it right into warrior two. Waterfall, clasp your hands, open up your chest, pull your hands away from your lower back as you lean forward, stretching out your shoulders. Inhale up into warrior two one more time. Exhale, dragonfly twist. It's exhale to put your left hand down. Inhale, open your right arm up to the sky. All right, let's add our second layer on. So we're gonna find a seated spinal twist. And you can do it from here. All we're gonna do is bring our left knee up and down behind your right heel. And then you're gonna sit all the way down. So you keep your right hand behind your lower back. Inhale, left arm up to the sky, and just add in a twist to the right. Maybe your gaze is turning back behind you. All right, so one more way to really challenge our balance and challenge our strength. I want you to turn your gaze to the front of the room. This first time around, you can plant your hand, surround your right foot, and then I want you to start to lift off your hips, put all of your weight into your right foot, and we're gonna come all the way up to standing, find tree pose. So left foot can come to the right shin, right calf, or you can grab a hold of your ankle and kind of pull it up towards your inner right thigh. Just make sure it's not on your knee. I don't want you to hurt your knee. So arms can be straight overhead, palms can be together at heart center. Just find some balance here. Try not to let your right hip stick out too far. Keep it strong and steady through the four corners of your right foot, reaching up through the crown of your head. And we're gonna make our way into King Dancer pose. So use your exhale to reach back for your left ankle. And you can stay right here, or you can start to lean your chest forward, reach your right hands forward, and push your left foot into your left hand. It's kind of a slight back bend here. And then very gently, we're gonna make our way into side plank. So don't just stomp your left foot back, step it back gently. Left hand plants, and then spin onto the outside edge of your left foot as your right arm reaches up. Side plank. And we'll take a vinyasa. Let's do that second layer. Add it onto the left-hand side. From downward facing dog, lift the left leg up. Exhale, knee to elbow. How about leaning forward? Find that arm balance. Three-legged dog. Right up into warrior one. Once you lift up, gonna lower right back down, find dragon. Warrior two. And then right away, clasp your hands, take your waterfall pose. Open back up again, warrior two. Into dragonfly twist, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up to the sky. Now this is where we add it on. We're gonna take our seated spinal twist. So our right knee is gonna come up behind the left ankle, maybe to the outside of the left ankle. Sit all the way down. Left hand is planted behind you. Right arm up to the sky and twist. Inhale as you gaze forward. Start to put your weight into your left foot and lift your hips up and all the way up to standing tree pose. Again, standing tall, strong, stable base, and reaching up through the crown of your head, your fingertips maybe. And then we'll find side plank pose. So step your right foot all the way back, right hand plants, left foot stacks on top of the right. And we'll take our vinyasa. Let's meet in downward facing dog. I've got one more layer for you. Right leg to the sky. Exhale, lean forward, knee to elbow. Take your arm balance if you like. Three-legged dog. Find warrior one. Warrior one to lizard. Get low, open up your right hip. Stand tall, warrior two, hips open out to the long edge of the mat. Waterfall pose. Clasp your hands, lean back. Now fold, fall forward. Back up to warrior two. Into dragonfly twist. Now here's where we find another twist. Seated spinal twist. Left knee comes maybe to the outside of the right heel. Lift your left arm up to the sky and exhale as you twist to the right. Now this time around, challenge yourself. See if you can come all the way up to tree pose without using your hands. So you're going to start to lean your weight forward, lift off your hips, and stand up tall. Left foot to the right calf or right inner thigh. Forgot King Dancer on the other side. Okay, but let's do it again this time. We're gonna reach back for your left ankle. Lean forward, reach through the right hand, press through the left hand. Now we take our side plank. Step your left foot back. Right arm reaches tall. Your feet can be stacked. You can find a tree pose variation. You can find a bind. You can reach back behind you. There you go. Any sort of variation. Maybe a new one every time you come. So find your high plank pose. And this time we're going to lower all the way down onto your bellies. Taking a back bend here. So reach your hands back, bend your knees, grab a hold of your ankles or your feet, and then use your inhale to puff up your chest. Try to lift your knees off the ground. Keep your gaze out in front of you. Try to keep your knees as close together as you can. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Press yourself up to a tabletop pose. Sink your hips back for child's. We're going to take some half camel twists, another back bend. Right hand to your right ankle. Inhale, sweep your left arm around and back as you press your hips forward. Maybe your gaze drops back behind you. And exhale, sweep your arms back around, child's pose. Left hand to left ankle. Inhale, press your hips forward, sweep your right arm back. And exhale down into child's pose. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale, come up to table. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So let's do that again on the left hand side. Left leg lifts. Lean forward, find your arm balance, or just bring left knee to left elbow. Three-legged dog. Warrior one. Bring your hands down or forearms for dragon pose. You can keep your back knee lifted to make it more active, or find some rest by letting your back knee rest. Open up into warrior two. And then take that waterfall pose. Set up for it first. Lean back. Exhale, fold. Inhale back into warrior two. Find dragonfly twist. Right hand down. Twist the left arm open to the sky. Seated spinal twist. Bring that back knee forward and all the way down. Right arm up to the sky. Twist to the left. Use your inhale to gaze forward. Start to put your weight into the left foot. See if you can lift all the way up without using your hands. Challenge yourself. Tree pose. This time we won't forget king dancer pose. Reach your right hand back for your right ankle. Maybe stay here. Or start to lean forward. Take that slight back bend. Challenge yourself. Stay strong. Stay steady. And now side plank pose. So step your right foot all the way back, right hand down. How about a different variation? And then put your left hand into the mat, lower your chest down. Slight rest, slight break here. Just so that we can come into that back bend again. Bend your knees. Reach your hands back for your heels, your ankles, your feet. And use your inhale to lift up everything you can. Maybe you're balancing just on your hip bones. And exhale, lower down again. Find child's pose. And half camel twist. Right hand to right ankle. Inhale, sweep the left arm behind you. Bring it back around. Changing sides. Back into child's. Just for breath. And then make your way into downward facing dog. Let's go through it one more time, all the way through both sides. Right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to elbow. Take your arm balance. Inhale, lift it back up. Step it forward, warrior one. Now I'm just gonna call out the poses. You guys are gonna follow your breath, right? From warrior one, come on down, dragon pose. Warrior two. Clasp your hands, take that waterfall. Right back where you came from, warrior two. Dragonfly twist. Exhale and an inhale. Into your seated spinal twist. One more twist. Turn your gaze forward. Find tree pose. Use your hands or challenge yourself. Don't use your hands. Make your way into king dancer. Side plank pose. Left hand plants, right foot steps back. And exhale, lower all the way down onto your bellies. Reach back for your ankles. Use your inhale to puff up, find bow pose, Dhanurasana. And exhale, lower all the way back down. Child's pose. Half camel twists. Right hand to right ankle. Use your inhale, press your hips forward. Changing sides. Back into child's. Up into tabletop, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Knee to same elbow. Inhale, back to the sky. Step forward, warrior one. Dragon pose, all the way down. Inhale, all the way up, warrior two. Take that waterfall pose. Come back up first for warrior two. Back down, dragonfly twist. And seated spinal twist. Any way you can, top of your mat, tree pose. Into king dancer. And find that side plank, right hand down. Lower yourself all the way down, set up for bow pose. Release, child's pose. Take those two half camel twists. And let's just find child's pose. Take a moment here. Not too much left to do, just a little bit. So find some rest in child's. Reconnect with your breath. Up into your hands and knees, downward facing dog. So I want you to lift your right leg up to the sky. And from here, we're just gonna step your right foot to the top of your mat, open up into a star pose. All right, so this is where we'll begin. I want you to turn your right toes forward. We're gonna come into a revolved triangle. So maybe you need to shorten your stance a little bit. Step your left foot a little bit closer to your right. And from here, we're gonna reach our left arm up to the sky. Start to turn your hips to the front of the room. And then you're gonna sweep your left arm all the way down to the mat. Maybe inside your right foot or on the outside. But make sure that your hips are square. So everything's facing forward. And then use your inhale to sweep your right arm up to the sky. Turn your gaze, turn your torso. Right shoulder kind of peels back. And do your best to keep pressing your right hip back, left hip forward so they stay in line with one another. Both legs are as straight as you can. And now either stay here or try to come onto your left fingertips. So you want to keep your spine as long as you can, the crown of your head reaching forward, tailbone reaching back. Try not to put any roundness in your spine, keep it straight. On your left fingertips, still reaching up with your right fingertips. And maybe even try to extend your left fingertips forward, maybe just floating them an inch or two off the mat. But don't collapse through your chest. Keep reaching with the crown of your head with your left fingertips. Keep twisting, stay strong through both feet. And how about 3 breaths here? Draw your belly button in towards your spine, helps you twist a little bit more, create more space for that twist. 1 more breath, reach through your left fingertips, and exhale, lower back down. Come on back up to star pose. And before we move on to the left-hand side, toes come out, heels in, sink your hips down, find goddess, Your arms can come into this cactus shape, goalpost, and see how low you can get your hips. Knees are in line with your toes. Strong breath, tuck your tailbone under. Maybe close your eyes. How about coming off your heels for the last 2 to 3 breaths? Lift your heels. There you go, one more. And exhale, fold right down the middle, forward fold. Inhale to lift your chest halfway. Use your exhale to bring your hands to your hips. And inhale, slowly come all the way up to standing. We're gonna change sides. So start to pivot your left toes towards the back of the mat. Maybe shorten your stance again. Right foot steps closer to the left. Hips turn towards the back. And now reach your right arm up to the sky. And as you breathe out, bring your right hand all the way down to the mat. Adjust your hips so that they stay in line with one another. And then use your inhale to sweep left arm up towards the sky. Maybe your gaze will follow. So do your best to keep your legs straight. Maybe you have to keep a slight bend in the front leg. If there's any sort of knee issues. Hips are square, crown of the head reaching, tailbone reaching back. And now come onto your right fingertips. Keep your torso turning to the left, so left shoulder is peeling back. And if you're on your right fingertips, maybe you come all the way off your fingertips. Maybe extend your right arm towards the back of the room. Try not to compromise in that upper body. Keep it exactly where it was before. 3 strong breaths here. Exhale, lower your right hand back down. Inhale, come up to your star pose. And this time, let's just fold right down the middle. Excellent job. Lift up halfway. Start to walk your hands to the front of the mat. And just step your right foot back. Find downward facing dog, down to tabletop pose. Maybe a seated meditation or a child's pose. One last thing to challenge you with. Maybe I want to take an inversion. So here's the thing. I'm going to try to walk you through tripod headstand. If you'd rather just come into a candlestick pose with your back lying down and just extending your legs up towards the sky, maybe a shoulder stand. But any inversion, whether it be gentle or a little bit more intense, let's set up for a tripod headstand. So from here, kind of just sitting on your heels, I want you to make a tripod, a triangle with your head and your 2 hands. And your elbows are going to be stacked right over top of your wrists. Okay, so you're going to be like this, elbows at a 90-degree angle, crown of the head reaching down onto the mat, and then lift your hips up, maybe tuck your back toes under, lift your knees up. Now here's a good place to just kind of play around with how it feels, to put some weight into your head, into the palms of your hands. And if you'd like, start to bring your knees to the backs of your triceps. Just resting there on top of your elbows. And then if that feels good, maybe lift up one leg. How about the other leg? And both legs. Just challenge yourself with a few breaths. And then bring your knees back down to your triceps.
And lower yourself back down into the mat.
Excellent job.
Child's pose, one more time. And come onto your hands and knees. We're just gonna kind of sink into one hip or the other so that you can swing your legs around. Find a comfortable seat. Let's do, you know what, let's come all the way down onto our backs. So gently rolling all the way down. Keep your left leg extended and draw your right knee in. Just kind of hold it here, hugging it into your chest. And now maybe reaching your right fingers, your right peace fingers, those first two, for your right toe. And perhaps extending the leg all the way up. Try to keep your right shoulder anchored down, left hip anchored down. Just kind of feeling the gentle stretch through the back of your right leg. And how about opening your leg all the way out to the right, as far as you can. Keep pressing your left hand to your left hip so it doesn't peel off the floor. Inhale as you come back through to center. Now switch your grip, switch your left hand to the outside of your right foot. And now your right hand can come, how about out to a T? And very gently just drawing your right leg across your body, over to the left. Maybe feeling the stretch to the outside of your right leg, your IT band. You get a tiny gentle spinal twist here. And then back through to center. How about grabbing a hold of your foot or anywhere on your leg with both hands and just kind of drawing it closer in towards you. Maybe even lifting your head up off the mat so that you can draw it, your nose towards your shin. And then gently release back down to the mat, changing sides. So extend your right leg now. And then first draw your left knee in towards your chest. Now holding it here. Left peace fingers, wrap around the left big toe and extend your leg. Try opening your left leg out to the left. Keep your right hip anchored. And drawing it back through to center, changing hands now. So just wrap your right hand around the outside edge of your left foot. Left arm open up to a T. Gently drawing your leg across your body. There you go, back through to center. And then grabbing a hold of with both hands and gently drawing your leg towards you now. Maybe lifting your chest up to meet it. And gently lower all the way down. Maybe hugging both knees into your chest now. One more spinal twist. So draw your knees across your body over to the right hand side. Open your arms out to a T and turn your chin over to the left. Just really starting to settle down now. Let your top knee feel heavy. And your left shoulder kind of just melting back down into the mat. And drawing your knees back in through to center, gently changing sides. And bring your knees back in. Give them another squeeze. Gently pressing your lower back down into the mat. Elongating through the spine. And just setting yourself up for that final resting posture, Shavasana. Extend legs to the corners of the mat. And then allow your arms to just gently rest down on your sides, palms facing up, shoulders down away from your ears. And take a breath all the way in. Fill up as much as you can. Open your mouth and let it all go. See if you can just melt down into the mat. Letting go of everything and find rest. Stay here as long as you need to. If you're ready, gently add some movements, bringing some awareness back to your breath. Fingers and toes. Maybe circling your wrists and your ankles. As you turn your head from side to side. And drawing your legs together, reaching your arms overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch. And as you breathe out, draw your knees back in. And gently rolling over onto any side. Find fetal pose. Then gently pressing yourself up. All the way to the top of the mat. Comfortable seated position. Reaching your arms up overhead. And on your exhale, drawing your palms together. Heart center, bowing your head. Always finishing with gratitude. Sending out love. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for challenging yourself, for showing up, for breathing, for moving, for flowing. I hope I get to see you again soon. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale as you press it out. Namaste.